Good afternoon. Welcome to Marty's Tying Bench. We're putting together Vice Squad kits, and I've had some requests for this mole fly. A simple pattern, but a really good one to have and not too difficult to tie. Something simple often works better, and this is the prime example. Fish it during blue wing olive emergences and midge emergences, and this thing will suspend in the water. You will need to use the right floatant for CDC if you haven't used CDC before. Get some loon Loxa or use the dry fly powders, frogs fanny, that kind of stuff. Starting with a light wire hook. This one's an 18. Your kit may have size 20s. This works best in these smaller sizes. Now, for an emerging wing, we've got some dark gray CDC. We're going to get 2 feathers. I don't know if you can see both the stems there, but I'm going to get this matched up to where the tips are even. Keep stroking it to bundle it. And we're going to tie that in behind the eye. You want to save just a little bit of room behind the eye, because we're going to end up tying a whip finish underneath. Now the wing should be about the same length as the body, so go ahead and pull on it a little bit until it's the length you want, and then work your way a little bit down the bend. I'm going to cut these off a little bit of an angle and continue down the bend a bit. You want to accentuate, you want to use the curved portion of the hook. And I'll come back up to my wing. So I got a little bit of room there. I can actually come forward a couple turns of thread. Now for a little bit of sparkle, we're going to introduce a couple of strands of Fluorofiber. This is pearl. And I'm going to lay 2 of them out over the wing. Make a couple turns and then fold the other 2 over and bind them down. Now you see my thread has crept forward. There's not nearly as much space up here, so at the end when we tie our whip finish we'll have plenty of room. We're going to trim this so it's just a little bit longer than the wing. And now we're going to dub. Charlie Craven, this Charlie Craven pattern, he insists on beaver, so it's going to be brown. Now I think you can substitute a few other natural furs like muskrat if you wanted a gray body, certainly some olives. I'm not really sure whether there's much dyed beaver out there, but you can probably get dyed beaver as well if you wanted other colors. Now depending on the bag of beaver you have, it's probably going to have some guard hairs in there, but we'll just deal with it and pull them out or trim them. Now I'm going to work my way down towards the bend before the dubbing gets started, and then dub forward and go ahead and let it build up a little bit of taper. Now after you've tied a few, you'll get the dubbing to come right up to the CDC, but if you're a little bit short, you can add a tiny bit. If you did a little bit too long, just take some off. Okay, that's not a bad shape. Now I'm just going to reach up and sweep all of that back. Make a couple of turns in front of the wing. Get your whip finisher or half hitch tool, and while you're holding that back, tie your whip finish, and you'll see that makes that wing stand up a little bit. And that will help this thing suspend in the water. So that's it. There's your mole fly. Now I'm going to say that when you trimmed that CDC, I hope you saved it, because I'm going to tie another pattern right after this using that stub, so you can get more bang for your buck out of a bag of CDC. But here it is, Charlie's mole fly.